everyone, and welcome to the Vita Cast, episode 66. I'm your awesome host, Better Than Kyle, and Kyle's here with me.
Well, whatever. At least I'm not boastful, Tyler.
Well, when you're as awesome as me, you just can't help it.
Keep telling yourself that, Tyler. I know the ladies don't.
Hey, shut up! Well, anyways, how are you, Kyle?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
Not too bad myself. I just got a bonus check from work, so yeah. What to buy?
Tyler's got a bonus boner over there.
I'm not wearing any pants, so...
Not that kind of boner, Tyler.
Oh.
Put that thing away. Take it down, do what you gotta do.
Well, I actually bought something ungaming related. I bought a paintball gun.
That's kind of gaming related. You can use it to build tactics for when you're playing games. There you go, Tyler.
Yes, I'm pretty excited. I should be getting it next week. I bought a Tipman A5, and I'm going to get like a response trigger, which basically makes it full auto. I got a whole bunch of gear, a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm excited. But yeah, I got to stop spending money now. So this bonus check kind of came at a random time. Like, I had no idea about it. We got it today, and I was like, oh yeah, I basically bought all my gear for free because the check basically covered it, so.
That's always nice.
Yeah, so it was kind of a rough week this week, but today made up for it, so. Yeah, that's about my week. It's not over yet, but anyways, yeah, that's my week. So let's get into what we've been playing, because this is a Vita cast, and we're not going to talk about paintballing the whole time. We're going to talk about that lovely little Vita and the games we played on it. And the games I've played this week, I've played a ton of Ollie Ollie 2. That game is so addicting. I'm trying to get all the stars right now on each level. I think I have all of the fifth world. I have all of those ones to work on. Each level has to have some type of star on it. And then the fourth world, I think I need 2 levels, and then I will be good to go. And then I played a bit of Helldivers. I really need to get some friends to play with Kyle, wink wink, because I really want to play that with some people I can communicate with, because I've only played it a couple times with people I can actually talk to, and it's so much better when you have people that are actually talking back to you and whatnot. And then, what else did I play? Oh, Flame Over. We did the live stream on Sunday, I believe. I played a little bit of that, and I need to play more of that because that game is so difficult, but it's actually really fun. So yeah, played a little bit of that. And Danganronpa 2, I'm putting some time into that. I just finished the prologue, so I just started chapter 1 very early in, but it is grabbing me. I am ready for the chaos to ensue. So yeah, I think that's all I played that I can remember. What about you, Kyle?
Well, the bulk of my week was dedicated to Ollie Ollie 2, and I put out my review for that on the site. Talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I've been playing the hell out of that. I bet you I've put 35 hours probably into it, something like that. The one day I literally sat here from the time my Vita was fresh, off the charger until the battery died, and I ran it Wi-Fi off, brightness all the way down, like headphones. So like that's pretty much as low power as you can go without being muted. And safe to say I played a lot of Ollie Ollie 2 and really enjoyed it. So yeah. Also played some Ollie Ollie. Before I got Ollie Ollie 2, I wanted to practice a little, and then after I got it, I actually wanted to go back and see how much of a shock it is trying to go backwards on that, and man, is it a shock, because they're completely different. Ollie Ollie's more like it's like a whole bunch of little spots. Every level is like an area to trick, and then a space, and then an area to trick, and then a space. It didn't seem like it had the flow that Ollie Ollie 2 had, even though it was great and stuff. It's not the same anymore. I think I might have ruined it for myself by playing Ollie 2. So I might be only going back to that one for trophies. We'll have to see. Other than that, I played some Kick and Fennec. I got farther in that. Still need to play more of that, obviously. But I think I'm mid or late chapter 2 now. Or maybe I'm chapter 3. I got the chapter 2 trophy, so I think that means I'm on chapter 3. So, doing okay. Really liking it, but there's just so much to play. It's hard to get time for stuff like that. And also because Hotline Miami came out this week, I played some Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami 2 comes out this week. I played some original Hotline Miami and got some more trophies on that I was missing, and just got kind of back into it because I don't have 2 yet and I'm kind of craving it, and that's what I do to, supplant the second game, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I played, those 4 games, and then of course I joined in on your Flame Over stream. That was some pretty cool gaming to watch, but I didn't get to play, so yeah.
Did it make you want it?
It did, but I'm broke as a bale of hay right now, so that's one of those things down the road I'll be getting, and I'm sure I know it's on sale right now, but I'm sure it'll be on sale again, and that's when I'll probably grab it.
Yeah. Well, I need to get Hotline Miami 2, like you were talking about earlier, because, oh my gosh, I love the first one, and everyone's playing the second one, having a great time, killing people, and I'm just like, I got too many games.
Yeah, I'm actually going back for my platinum on the first. I never got the platinum, but I think I was at like 40-something%, now I'm at 61, so I'm getting there.
Nice. I don't even know what I'm at on that. I haven't played that game in so long. But I remembered a game I played that I forgot to mention, and that would be...
Shoot it.
It is a shooter. It's a
what
shoot 'em up. Soldner X2. It's not out yet. It comes out next week.
Very nice.
I don't know if I'm really allowed to say... I don't think there's an embargo about anything, so I could say stuff, but... Yeah, I can say stuff because I have a video up. Anyways, it's really interesting, and it looks really good graphically, and I didn't play too much of it. I think I played 2 levels, so I can't really say too much about it, but if you're into shoot-em-ups, it is one of probably the best-looking ones I've ever played on the Vita, so if you're interested in those type of games, then keep your eye out on this one. But yeah, I think that's all I played, so let's head on to those reviews, Kyle. We got a few here, so we can switch it off if you want to take the first one.
All right, Tyler. Well, first up, we've got SpongeBob Hero Pants, which was reviewed by Brad. He gave it a 2.9 out of 5, saying, quote, SpongeBob Hero Pants is not a hard game. It's not a long game, and it's not a very well-polished game. It is, however, a light and fun platformer that's easy to play when the game's technical problems aren't causing frustration. The kids will probably enjoy it more than their parents, but there's a little something for everybody in this game. End quote. So it looks like it's something that maybe his daughter, I know he has an 8-year-old daughter, enjoyed, and something that he maybe got a little fun out of, but obviously has some flaws. I know you platinumed this game, Tyler, so why don't you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, it's definitely a game that's, like he said, doesn't have that much polish, because there's a lot of glitches I've discovered, and I could actually cheat the game a couple times, because they'd have like you'd have to use like kind of like the Lego games where you have to use a certain character to like get into a certain area, and I would find a way to just jump behind it and still get in there with a different character. So it was making me laugh. I was like, this is easy. But I could see the younger audience really liking it. But I mean, if you're hoping for an awesome SpongeBob game, this is probably not the one for you, but it's an easy platinum, so yay. So let's head on to the next review. Atelier Aisha Plus, The Alchemist of Dusk, which was reviewed by Colin, and he gave it a 4.6 out of 5, and he says, quote, with a world bursting with charm and an intriguing storyline to keep you hooked, Atelier Aisha Plus is a fantastic JRPG that will keep you coming back until you reach your conclusion, be it good or bad. End quote. I played a little bit of this, not too much, but I mean, if you're a fan of the Atelier series, then I feel like you'll enjoy this, so jump into it.
All right, continuing on. Next up is Hyper Devotion Noir Goddess Blackheart, which was reviewed by guest reviewer Shizuka from NeoGAF. And they gave it a 3.5 out of 5, saying, quote, Hyper Devotion Noir Goddess Blackheart is not groundbreaking in any aspect, but if you're into fun, lighthearted RPGs with a certain depth of gameplay, then look no farther. So it looks like it's something to look into if you're into the genre, but otherwise you might want to avoid it because it doesn't seem too spectacular. But yeah, you might want to read the review. I haven't played any. Have you, Tyler?
Yeah, not really enough to give an opinion, so I would definitely read the review to get a better understanding of what this game's all about. So yeah, let's head on to the next review, which was Flame Over, which was reviewed by Charlie, and he gave it a 4.5 out of 5. And he says, quote, Perseverance pays off for those that wish to take on and tackle the burning inferno that is Flame Over, with tons of replay value and gameplay that will challenge most. Laughing Jackal's firefighting pyro roguelike is a surefire hit for the handheld. And end quote. So yeah, we live streamed this, and you could watch the replay on the Lounge Play YouTube channel, and it's definitely challenging, but if that's, something that you like to do, it kind of gave me a feel of Spelunky, even though they're totally different games. Spelunky is a 2D, side-scrolling game, and Flame Over, you can run around into different rooms and whatnot, and you're putting out fires. So I mean, they're completely different, but they gave me a same feel of difficulty, but also rewarding when you're able to just master the game and controls and all that. So I'll definitely read the full review to see if it's something that would suit you, and you can go start putting out those fires.
All right. Well, moving on to the last review, we've got Ollie Ollie 2, Welcome to Ollywood, which was reviewed by yours truly, and I gave it a 4.6 out of 5, saying, quote, Ollie Ollie 2, Welcome to Ollywood is truly everything that a sequel to Ollie Ollie should be. It takes the already amazing formula of the first game and injects adrenaline right into its coated heart, causing that euphoric feeling you got tricking every obstacle to become a level-long high of foot-to-board madness, and I'm addicted. Bravo, Roll 7, you've one-upped yourself in an epic way with this one, end quote. And my gushing isn't just gushing, the game is awesome. You don't know this, but Tyler's actually playing it during the short pauses and different things during this podcast recording, and before the podcast, I assume. Yep. And I've played 35 or so hours of it this week, and it is truly everything a sequel to Ollie Ollie should be. The game is awesome. It's addictive. It's everything you thought in Ollie Ollie 2. They could do this better, or they could make this tighter or cooler, or whatever they did. Pretty much, like there's not a lot I could ask for other than maybe some sort of actual direct multiplayer mode for Vita, and there's these roller coasters in the one level set where they kind of hang down, and there are obstacles that you kind of gotta not hit as they hang down, but I guess they're coded a little farther than they actually appear, so you can jump and hit space and still flatten against, this invisible brick wall object. So there's, a couple little tiny things that could be better or could be fixed. So that's why I gave it a 4.6, because really everything else has so much polish, it's ridiculous. Agree, Tyler?
I definitely agree, so there's not really much more I can say. I'm playing it, so
there you go.
I'm loving the crap out of it. So yeah, those were your reviews for this week. A lot of reviews, so a lot of games to check out and hopefully jump into. So let's head on to those new releases for some more games to talk about. So we don't actually have to pause and wait for someone to do the recording, because we already know everything that came out, so let's just jump right into it. So for Europe, you guys are getting Doodle Kingdom, Flame Over, Real Fishing Masters Challenge, Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number, and that's it. For North America, we are getting Flame Over, Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number, Scrammed Kitty DX, and Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters. So, Kyle, we already know you want Hotline Miami 2 and Flame Over. Are you going to pick up Scrammed Kitty or... Oh, actually, aren't you reviewing Tokyo Twilight?
I am actually reviewing Tokyo Twilight, so that I just got, and I haven't actually jumped into it yet because internet issues, hence why this podcast may be a day late to your ears. So yeah, you'll have my thoughts on that soon.
Well, alright. What about the Scram Kitty?
Yeah, I think it's a shooter. Am I incorrect?
I think you're right.
I'm not big on shooters unless they're first person or third person, so I'll probably end up avoiding it. But you never know.
Yeah, I have really no interest in it. I got too many games and it's not going to grab me that much, so I don't want to worry about it right now. We already know you want Flame Over, so we won't
Indeed,
do that.
indeed.
But yeah. Well, alright. Let's head on to those news pieces this week. Got a couple here, so let's get right into it. So, first up, developer Yacht Club Games have announced that an expansion to the upcoming Shovel Knight will release in Q2 2015 and will be called Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows. Shovel Knight received huge praise upon its initial release in 2014, and it was announced at the PlayStation Experience in December 2014 that it would make its way to the Vita in 2015. The Plague of Shadows expansion takes away the spotlight from the titular character and instead allows players to control Plague Knight, who is dubbed as the villainous master of alchemy. Official details from the Yacht Club games are as follows. Quote, Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows is a free expansion for Shovel Knight, a sweeping classic adventure action-adventure game that won over 70 Game of the Year awards in 2014. You play as Plague Knight, the villainous master of alchemy, in a quest to all his own. Using his oh my gosh, I can't pronounce words right now. Maniacal scientific mind, Plague Knight is seeking to concoct Serum Supernus, the ultimate potion. However, to retrieve these ingredients, he must extract them from his former allies, the villainous Knights of the Order of No Quarter. World-class platforming, music, storytelling, and art all return in Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows, an explosive quest with a new playstyle, new story, new bosses, and more. Features: an adventure featuring a new star, Plague Knight. See your favorite game from a new point of view, play as the explosive trickster Plague Knight with new story and gameplay. Join Plague Knight on his quest to overthrow the Order of No Quarter, become the ultimate alchemist, and maybe find some romance too. Interesting. New gameplay. Explode onto the scene as Plague Knight, use explosive bomb jumps and alchemy to blast your way through the game in a whole new way. Crafting comes to Shovel Knight with an alchemy system. Collect loot and use alchemy to craft equipment and power-ups. Collect new recipes and reagents to become the master of disaster. Remixed game content, new objectives and enemies, brand new areas and new paths through classic levels, new bosses. Is your science up to snuff? Take on Plague Knight's specific challenges with new feats. Shovel Knight is making its way to the Vita on April 21st in the US and will receive a 10% discount at launch with the Plague of Shadows DLC following in the summer. Stay tuned to the Vita Lounge for more news as it's announced. Next up, a Dengeki PlayStation interview with Yosuke Futami, the producer of Sword Art Online Lost Song, has given us a ton of new information on the series. Here are the key points taken from the interview. Lost Song won't be as dark as previous Sword Art Online games. Game original Rain will come into play midway into the story. Although Seven isn't very skilled at the game, she is still the leader princess of the Shamrock Guild. Shamrock has gameplay guides from the game's real life. Agiel will be playable and was chosen over Eugene. Affection level no longer exists, but events are prompted by specific character combinations. The game has been in development since Hollow Fragment was in development as well, and therefore is not a sequel. The Hollow Fragment sequel that Futami wanted to make if the game sold well was teased. While Futami recommends to hold on to your Hollow Fragment save file, he confirms that it will not match up with Lost Songs as they are different games in spirit. Using magic is simpler. Seamless battle transitions are confirmed. The previous talk of maps being 16 kilometers were false and confused with a different game. Maps are squared and 1 kilometer each, but there's a ton of islands and the world is still big. Expect a 20 to 30 hour story that can last longer with the harder quests and raising. Raising remains similar to previous titles. There's no leveling up, only rising your skill strength. Big updates will come after launch. Players can also expect weekly updates and for the updates downloadable content to be free. Straya will be in the game without context to her past, wants to give her story a down-to-the-line. Sword Art Online Lost Song is an action RPG with an original story that explores a new Alfheim online area called Svart Alfheim. Lost Song will be released later this month on March 26th in Japan. A Western European release has yet to be announced, but considering how well Hollow Fragment sold in 2014 and Lost Song's trademark, we could hear official word sooner than later. Can't wait! Next up, Alonzo Martin, the creator of the Metroidvania-style RPG Heartforth, Alicia has announced that it will arrive on the PlayStation Vita in early 2016. Heartforth, Alicia is described as a mix between the gameplay of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, the dungeons from The Legend of Zelda, and the story of Xenogears, packed with unlockables, upgrades, open-ended gameplay paired with an engaging story. Fans from the 16 and 32-bit era will be sure to enjoy this game with the overwhelming support from the Kickstarter community. Mr. Martin was even able to recruit the famous Mega Man and Mighty No. 9 composer Manami Matsume to produce a few tracks for the title. Heartforth Alicia is slated for an early 2016 release, but you can be sure that the Vita Lounge will be keeping you up with news on the fantastic-looking game as and when it's available.
Alright, moving on. East of Asia Soft got in touch with us recently confirming the Vita version of the PS3 shooter Tyler was talking about earlier, Soldier X2, which will be releasing later this month. Available from March 17th in North America and the following day in Europe, we have been told to expect a perfect console port, running at 60 frames per second and with, quote, next to no, end quote, load times. The game also features a new trophy set and new high score tables. Quote, everyone on the team is a huge fan of the PS Vita, so we're really happy to be releasing another game for the system, end quote, said Marcus Perkopsky, CEO of SideQuest Studios. Quote, we're confident that our fans will enjoy this console perfect port and are looking forward to seeing some fierce high score battles online, end quote. Originally released on PlayStation 3, Soldier X2 Final Prototype delivers a must-have shoot-'em-up experience, blending classic gameplay with astonishing audio visuals. The gameplay features include up to 10 action-packed stages, a dynamic score-linked difficulty system, a challenge mode that allows players to unlock bonus features and rewards, online high score tables, and replay file sharing, devastating limit attacks, an adrenaline-pumping soundtrack with 30 unique tracks, and much more. The game will cost $9.99, that's euros or dollars, and £7.99 when it launches, and releasing alongside the core game will be Soldier X2 Final Prototype, The Last Chapter DLC, offering additional stages, 13 challenges, and 11 new trophies. The Last Chapter will cost $4.99, that's euros or dollars, and £3.99, and a bundle containing game and add-on will be placed at $12.99, euros or dollars, and £9.99. All versions support cross-buy functionality, so good news there. Next up, series writer Kodaka Kazutaka has revealed the state of the most recent Danganronpa iteration to hit the drawing board. Originally hinted at in an interview with Terasawa over a year ago, Danganronpa 3 would be the fourth iteration in the series chronologically, if you count bridging titled Danganronpa Another Episode, Ultra Despair Girls, which most do, and the third main series game. If it's anything like past games, it'll involve a bunch of kids put in an inescapable situation and forced to get along until the motive is presented to the contrary. But as of right now, what the game will be isn't quite clear. Quote, until everything's been written, there's nothing that's set, end quote. Kazutaka told a representative from Polygon at GDC 2015, this year's Game Developers Conference. Quote, so to answer your question, it's still very early because the scenario isn't written yet, end quote. So it looks like we may be waiting a little while for Danganronpa 3, but if you still haven't picked up Danganronpa or its sequel, they're available physically and digitally in the West right now. As for the third title, Danganronpa Another Episode, Ultra Despair Girls, it'll be bridging the gap between the first two titles sometime this fall. And moving on to a very long one. Sorry guys, I cut out as much of this as I could, but this is some good stuff. Benjamin Rivers, the sole developer of Vita horror game Home, took to the PlayStation blog recently to share more details on his new project, Alone With You. As well as announcing that the PlayStation 4 version will be on show for the first time at GDC, he shared plenty of information in the blog post, which is as follows. Quote, I can't tell you how exciting it's been to be a PlayStation developer. I jumped on board with the PS4 and Vita launch of my horror game Home last fall, and now I'm excited to finally share with you some lovely news about my new title in development, Alone With You. What's this game about again? Well, to recap, you play as the sole remaining member of a doomed terraforming colony. Your planet will crumble and implode in less than a month, and you must use your remaining time to try to escape. There is only one escape pod left, and it isn't functioning. Even worse, the only people who specialize in its systems are all dead as a result of the colony's failure. But the colony's AI is still with you, and together you plan to get yourselves off the planet by recreating those Kree colony members and learning how to fix the ship so you can both flee to safety. Similar to Home, Alone With You is a narrative-focused exploration game. It's not about dodging bullets or tripping instant death cutscenes. It's about soaking yourself in the game's world and hopefully getting just way too emotionally invested along the way. You go on missions that your AI companion, lovingly named AF4B/3B, by the company that made it, sends you on. You'll need to find specific things, use your scanner to gather data. As you explore the game's environments, you'll inevitably come across other, less critical items, some of which immerse you in the world around you, and some of which play a role when it's time to do some romancing. The face buttons on the DualShock 4 or on PS Vita let you interact with AF4B/3B, even if you're doing other things. So by hitting square, triangle, or circle, you can make choices and keep dialogue moving. Once you completed each mission, AF4B/3B will ask you to come home, and while it crunches the day's data, you can take a breather. But sometimes at night, you may be asked to visit the colony's holosim chamber, where the digital versions of those old colonists are trying to orchestrate your salvation. Except on these occasions, a particular colonist might not want to talk about work. Alone With You is a romance adventure, but that doesn't mean it's just another dating sim. In fact, true to form, I've adopted kind of a focused minimalism with the game. It's not about maxing out dating stats or trying to form a love harem. Rather, it's about the curious threads you discover when love happens at the most inopportune times. Can love bloom on a doomed terraforming colony? You speak to colonists as you gather data you need for them to help you, but you also get a little one-on-one time, depending on the choices you make. In these scenes, the things that you may have seen or not seen, or decisions you have made previously will affect what you can talk about, and decisions you make while doing so can affect what happens later on too. There's one really important aspect of Alone With You's romantic gameplay too that I want to discuss. It's completely open to all players, regardless of gender or orientation. There are 4 potential love interests in the game, and you can choose to spend your time with whomever you wish. And yes, you can enter your name for that personal touch. Okay, I'm going to level with you all. Alone With You is a giant love letter to the Sega CD. Yes, you read that correctly, that old Genesis add-on from the mid-90s. The game features a color palette chock full of those classic greens and purples and a hearty 16-bit resolution. It also features a few nifty graphical tricks that, I hope, make it stand out from other titles. Even better, Alone With You has lots of whimsical full-screen animation for everything from using doors to revving up your sweet hover shuttle. Everything so far is hand-drawn by yours truly. I'm using my years of comic making experience to, I hope, deliver some tasty, unique visuals. If you played Home, you might have noticed its sparse, eerie soundtrack, one that pretty much had no music and lots of creepy ambience. With Alone With You, I am stoked beyond belief to be making a game that features an actual soundtrack you will want to listen to, even when you're not playing. Well, that's just an important slice of that article, which is much longer than all that stuff that I read, which is all good stuff. So if I were you, I'd hop on over to the site for more, because there's tons more info and there's some cool stuff on there. So otherwise, stay tuned to the Vita Lounge for more information on this game as it becomes available. And back over to you, Tyler, for some more reading.
Alright, next up, platformer Whoa Dave will soon be receiving a free content update titled Whoa Dave Deluxe. The former PS Plus game's free update will include the following: 2 new insanely hard levels, a Doma from Destructomundo Junior Skin and Commander Girl video from BitTrip, Mr. Robotube from Robotube Games, Block Tom from Blocktonic, and a hidden character will all be playable. A plethora of new battles, never before seen enemies, usable UFOs, Easter eggs, and a classic mode from the game's original release. Woe Dave is about high scores, alien invasion, and action-packed fun, and it's about to get even more extensive with Deluxe. Keep an eye out for the update, which hopefully hits sooner than later. Next up, Falcom has revealed new information about their upcoming Vita release of The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky Evolution, including news of an upcoming Japanese demo. That's right, folks, a release window for the demo was revealed as late March, meaning in less than 3 weeks you should be able to get your Trails on, provided you have access to a Japanese PlayStation Network account. As for the additional information about the game, we got word on a few of the changes being made for the PlayStation Vita version of the game. New AT bonuses added. In addition to HP recovery and critical, zero arts, and bad attack AT bonuses have been added. Auto battle system and automatic battle mode has been added. During automatic battles, target selection, movement, and general attacks are carried out in a series of automatic animations which progresses the battle faster. Fast forward system. Even when the player is in a direct control of their characters, you can hold down the X button for the battle to progress faster. Also revealed were new screenshots and renders of characters Cassius Bright, Josette Capua, Niall Burns, Dorothy Hyatt, Professor Alba, and Ina Holden, as well as a look at the game's enhanced arts and craft effects and other important gameplay aspects available on the site for those interested. The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky Evolution, The Legend of... Whoa, that was weird. Mistyped here. The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky Evolution is due out in Japan later this year. Next up, Japanese free-to-play game Judas Code is to end its service on July 2nd. Developer Tri-Ace has revealed. The developer said in a statement that we have reached the conclusion that it is difficult to offer and maintain a service that the user would be satisfied with. Registrations for the free-to-play title will cease on March 26th, while the in-game gem selling will end 1 week later on April 2nd. For those who are unaware of what kind of game Judas Code is, it's a dramatic RPG that features card game battles and third-person shooter elements.
So no more of that for you. Anyway, moving on. Just a few short weeks ago, we announced that BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extend will be making its way to PlayStation Vita in Japan. But now we can announce that it will also be making its way to North America in the summer, too. As expected, Axis Games are at the helm of the localization, as they have been with past entries in the series. Alongside the announcement, a whole host of new details were announced. Perform flashy, unique fighting moves with the drive button system to quickly take down your opponent. Now players can dish out super powerful guard crush attacks when their opponent's barrier gauge is low with the revamped guard system. Quickly turn to the side of the battle by using BlazBlue's unique mechanic, Overdrive, to enhance your skills and abilities. With 2 new characters, Cecilia and Lambda, joining the roster, you will be able to choose from 28 different playable characters. Also check out Remix Heart, a new addition to the story mode featuring 2 characters, Mai Natsume and Kajun Feikot. Features. Okay, I don't know why I did that. Some weird stuff going on with my text too. Excited? Well, the summer's not that far off, so I suggest you get through some backlog and or get some practice on the last title while you wait. Next up, Logan Fife, in combination with Curve Digital, has announced that puzzle platformer Four-Sided Fantasy is heading to Vita in early 2016. This game allows the player to explore a beautiful world and solve puzzles by using the edges of the screen to warp around to the other side. Think asteroids. If that didn't seem like enough to get your head around, there will also be enhanced abilities to supplement the screen wrap, including rotate the angle of the world, differing perspectives, and split screen gameplay. Four-Sided Fantasy is the spiritual successor to award-winning student project game The Fourth Wall, and was successfully funded on Kickstarter in May 2014. Narrowly surpassing its $35,000 goal in just a few hours prior to the deadline. So look forward to that. And my last news piece, because I get off light this time. At E3 last year, it was revealed that Disney Infinity 2.0 would be coming to both the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation TV in addition to other consoles. John Vignacci also revealed that the release of the game would be just like the PS3 version and not a stripped down game like what was the Nintendo 3DS had. What we didn't know was when the game was released, other than the vague release time frame of spring 2015. Well, now we know. The day after we had prodded Panic Button Games to reveal the date to us, John Vignacci once again took to Twitter to confirm that Disney Infinity 2.0 would be coming to the Vita on May 15th. This lines up with a comment made during a presentation at PlayStation Experience in December where Adam Boyes brought up the fact that it was to be expected by mid-May. Here's the actual tweet. At Marvel Knights asks John Vignacci, why no news on PS Vita Destiny Infinity 2.0 pack? John Vignacci replies, it's May 15th with Black Suit Spidey. Keep your eyes peeled. As stated, the PS Vita version of Disney Infinity will also include the exclusive Black Suit Spider-Man figure. This gives Vita owners something special for this release of the game, as well as an incentive for collectors to also pick up a copy. Starter pack will include a Bluetooth base with space on it for one character and one playset piece. The Spider-Man playset crystal piece will be included in the set along with the Assault on Asgard and Escape from Kylan game discs. There has not been any mention of the official price yet, but Game in the UK is currently offering pre-orders and have just priced it at £49.99. Hopefully this is just a placeholder until the actual price is revealed, but who knows. And back to you, Tyler.
Alrighty. Next up, Koei Tecmo Games have announced that you'll be able to sample the demon-slaying delights of Tokuden Kiwami before its release, thanks to an upcoming demo set to launch a week before its US and 2 days before its European release. Players will be able to sample the game's edit mode and create their own Demon Slayer, as well as play through the first 2 chapters of the game in what is known as Introduction Mode. There will be a second mod included in the demo known as Special Missions, which are essentially a batch of special missions created for the demo, which have a high difficulty rating to keep players interested until the game releases. Completing the special missions will allow players to start Tokuden Kiwami from the Kiwami section of the game upon its release, as well as unlock new costumes for characters which will be transferable to the full game upon its release. A new trailer and screenshots were released alongside the demo announcement, which you can view on the site. The demo for Tokuden Kiwami launches in the US on March 25th and in Europe on March 26th. Next up, it has been announced that developer Galahad Games, or Magica Wars Zanbatsu fame, has been working on a new free-to-play idol training game for the PlayStation Vita called Venus Project. Set to release in Japan in April, the game will task you with training idols and competing in performance battles against other idols as you guide them on their path to becoming the #1 idol. You'll be able to raise your idol power with support characters and items, including microtransactions, which will work to your advantage when in battle. The game's story has also been detailed and is as follows. Quote, in near future Japan, worldwide news terminals and video technology have seen massive growth, and everybody is enthusiastic about a new form of entertainment, Formula Venus. Commonly referred to as FV, this new form of entertainment sees select top-tier idols putting their strength, skills, and all their experience into live performance battles to see who among them ranks as the best. The dramatic story of Venus Project sees a group of girls who get tickets to the titular Venus Project aiming to become the best idols themselves, throwing themselves into intense battles, working and fighting hard to attain victory, even amidst friends. End quote. The game will use a card and command input system with the various versus-style battles you take part in, ultimately deciding the popularity of your buddying idols. Although there has been no word of a Western release for this free-to-play game, keep an eye on the Vita Lounge for all the Venus Project news you will need. And the last news piece here, it's not too long, but let's get right into it. Back in September, Image and Form revealed the follow-up to their excellent SteamWorld dig known as SteamWorld Heist and offered a spring 2015 release date, but unfortunately the game will no longer be hitting that target. In a blog post on their website, the developer revealed some new screens for the game's first playable demo, which was on show at PAX and GDC over the last week, but also acknowledged the lack of fixed release date. Quote, a common question people asked us was, can we get the full game? When we announced the game back in September, we thought we'd be done by February. Then we thought we'd be done by the end of March, and now, Spring 2015 is almost over. So what that means is that SteamWorld Heist is going to be delayed within a few months, but all the extra time we take will be visible in the final release. So our new release window is 2015, and it won't be before fall this year. If you're disappointed, I do feel with you, but even worse would be you purchasing an incomplete game, right? We'd never let you experience that, and like I said above, with the extra time we will make SteamWorld Heist the best turn-based, skill-based strategy game with steampunk robots in space. End quote. A new batch of screenshots can be seen below of the game or on the site in action, and we'll be sure to bring you any news on the game's fixed release date as and when it's announced. Bam! There be your news, everybody.
There she blows, Tyler.
There she blows indeed. Let's head on to those talking points, Kyle.
Sounds like a plan. Alright, first up we have announced release games we're looking forward to from the week. What looks good, Tyler?
Oh, man. Well, Hotline Miami 2 I want, but that we don't really talk about that, other than that it's a new release. But from games that we actually talked about in the news, oh, man. Sword Art Online Lost Song, Tokuden Kiwami, and Tokuden's so close, oh, man. Oh, man. I really hope that Legend of the Heroes Trials in the Sky, I hope that comes here, but who knows. What else? Oh, of course, Shovel Knight. I'm really excited for that. I'm gonna be so broke. This whole stretch of Tuesdays is just ripping money out of my wallet. So yeah, what about you, Kyle?
So there's quite a bit. Most of the ones you said, Sword Art Online, Lost Song, of course. Tokuden Kiwami, I'm kind of iffy about because I'm not sure about going back to that now. Tokuden kind of got pushed to the side, and that might end up the same. So I don't know. Alone with You, that sounds interesting for sure. What else is there? What else? This wasn't actually talked about, but there was a new Valhalla trailer from PAX East that was pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to that game. So there's that. As for your request for Trails to come over this way, I believe they are actually localizing a Trails game. Xseed is localizing one. I forget which one, but they're localizing one, and they were blogging about it the other day, so you might want to look forward to that, Tyler.
Oh boy. Twitter, here I come.
Yeah. and of course, Danganronpa 3. I can't, stop gushing over Danganronpa, so there you go.
Of course. Yeah. Tons of games, like always. There's always something coming.
Definitely. So the other thing I wanted to kind of touch on here, is our Year 3 Best of PlayStation Vita Year 3 awards. So we had our yearly awards. We don't do like everyone else does and go by the actual calendar year. We go by the year of the Vita. So we just hit February 22nd, which was the Vita's 3rd birthday in North America and Europe. So yay Vita, happy birthday. And we put out our Year 3 Best of PlayStation Vita awards to coincide with that. So I'm not going to read everything we had here. If you want to go on the site, you can read why we thought things were awesome and get a bigger picture, but I just wanted to kind of shout out to the winners here. So Danganronpa 2 was Game of the Year. Freedom Wars won Best Exclusive, Best RPG, Best Visuals, and Best Multiplayer. Minecraft won Best Port, Most Replay Value, and Best Casual Play. Velocity 2X won both Best Indie, Best Shooter, and Best Soundtrack. The Wolf Among Us won Best Action Adventure. Nidhogg won Best Fighter. Fez Best Platformer. Tabletop Racing Best Sports and Racing Game. Counterspy Best Strategy or Puzzle Game. And Killzone Mercenary won the Best DLC with Bot Zone mode. So Other than that, there's some bronze and silver winners as well. But if you want to hear about those, you'll have to go to the site, I guess.
Aw, yeah.
What do you think about those winners, Tyler?
It's pretty deserving. A lot of those games are amazing, and there's a couple that I didn't really get to play enough, so I couldn't really put too much into them, but most of the ones that were winning, I've played a ton of, and yes, if you've just picked up a Vita and went to that list, you would be busy for quite a while. So yeah.
I'd have to agree there.
Well, alright. Did you want to talk a bit about that yourself?
No, I think I put enough writing into that article that I'll make people go read it.
Do it. Go read it. Go to the site and read it. Alright, let's head on to that listener mail. So, you want to switch off again like we normally do?
Sure, you can start.
Okay. So, first up, Nonskippo at NONSCPO asks us on Twitter, with the GDC revelation by the creator of Danganronpa that the third installment is in the planning phases, what do you think needs to be shown in the next installment to conclude or continue the franchise? Now, how are you going to answer this without being spoilery?
Well, I'm going to have to tiptoe, aren't I, Tyler?
You will, because I will cyber slap you.
Tyler will cyber slap me if I ruin it for him, because he's in the middle, well, not even in the middle, after the prologue in playing Danganronpa 2 right now, so can't go into too much detail. But what do I think needs to be shown in the next installment to conclude or continue the franchise? I think more backstory. I want more before and more why. Not just what happened. Why. So yeah, I think that definitely needs to be explored, and I think other than that, we just need to take kind of a left turn, because even though the second was different, we needed something thrown in to change it all up again, because that's why I like the game, because it was unique.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'll say. Can you answer this any, Tyler, without having played the rest?
I don't really know. Yeah, I don't think I can really answer it without just bullshitting.
Well, how about this, Tyler? Why don't you answer it like as if where you're at is, you're answering for the end of Danganronpa 2. So what do you want to happen by the end of Danganronpa 2 that hasn't happened to you already?
Oh man, I don't even know. See, I don't really think about that kind of stuff. I kind of just go into it and just make the game, or not make the game because the game's already set, but let the game guide me through this unique story and hope it's unique.
So Tyler just flies by the seat of his pants and he just along for the ride, basically.
Pretty much.
He doesn't care what happens as long as something happens.
Yes. I would agree with you though about the third game being like a prequel or something like that, or maybe just going like to a different time, like instead of being like present time, like maybe going into like a futuristic spin, or maybe like someone doing it way in the past, so it's a little more like medieval stuff. I don't know, just maybe a different place, because isn't everyone like the same? It's the same school, right? Both of them.
Yeah, it went back to the same school.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe go to like something different. I don't know. It's a good question, and they've got their hands full. So yeah, thanks for the question, Nonskippo. Sorry that I can't really answer it very well.
All right. Yeah, we can't spoil it for Tyler and for anybody who's listening really either, so yeah, sorry. But moving on, we have Will Harden, who's actually our newest writer, one of our newest writers, Will, and that's at PlayStationator on Twitter, asks, what is your history with the PSP, and did your love for portable PlayStation start with PSP or the Vita? Tyler?
It started with PSP. My older brother bought the PSP when it first came out, and I was pretty young. Do you know what year the PSP came out? Was it 2004?
I don't offhand. It was, yeah, around there, 2004, 2005, something
I
like that.
want to say 2004 because I think PS3 came out in 2005. I don't know. Anyways, it was a while ago, and I was, I think, in middle school or just about to start high school. I can't, or just starting high school. I don't know, but I didn't have a job. That's the point. So seeing that, and him, I think he was playing. What was it? Oh god, Midnight Club Dub Edition, and I was like, "Mom, please get that," and I got it and was hooked, and yes, loved it. And then I took a break actually. I don't remember when, but I stopped playing handheld games for a while. Jumped into the Xbox 360 with Gears of War. I love that game, and then I kind of stopped playing games altogether. And then one day, I actually looked up PSP 2 because I was like, they've got to make another one, right? It's that time. And I started learning about the Vita and decided to pre-order the new thing, and here I am.
Alrighty then. So my history with the PSP, I don't think it was actually release date I got one, but it was pretty close to it. And I actually got one because originally I believe I saw somebody in my grade 9 English class playing an imported one, and they were playing, I want to say Tony Hawk, but I don't think it was out yet. Anywho, they were playing something, and I was like drooling over it, and then I was like, what's that? And they, went into the geeky explanation of what it was, and I was like, oh man, gotta have one. And then I had to wait, and then I didn't have enough money because I was a kid, and then, how things work out. So I eventually got one, and I remember Hot Shots Golf and something else with it. And I just played the living hell out of it. It was the best thing ever. And I actually ended up joining a forum shortly after that and getting heavy into that. And I ended up adminning a forum for PSP and playing the whole PSP game. And then I got out of that a while ago. It just kind of got old, I guess. The games weren't exciting anymore or something. I don't know. And I just kind of put it down, and then I ended up giving it to my cousin, and then the Vita came out, and I kind of didn't even know that the Vita came out, so of course you know how it is. So it came out, and then I was looking for stuff because people were like, what do you want to get for Christmas, blah blah, and whether it was money or actual things to get, I was figuring, what can I put it towards, or what can I get? So I looked up cool gadgets for Christmas gifts, and that's what came up. So I was like, that's what I want, and that's what I got. So
and here we are.
Here we are. Not long after that, I joined up with everyone else mostly, and it kind of just built from there.
Very interesting. It's always interesting to hear kind of like what got you into it.
Yeah, it is, because everyone comes in from a different angle. It's really kind of odd. Some people, it's, they see somebody playing it. Some of them, they come across, a commercial somehow, or hear about some game. They're like, hey, can I play that portable? And Google it and find it, or whatever. There's a million ways to get there, but we all get to Vita somehow.
Yeah, I actually kind of luckily Googled the new Vita, or the Vita, a month before it came out. So it was, I think, January 20th, something like that, the year or the month before the Vita came out. I just happened to Google it and was like, oh, snap, I got the money, pre-ordered, and was ready to go. So, yeah, so I didn't have to wait months, hearing about it and then just getting so eager for it. So, yeah. Now, I think I joined an old forum that you and I met on, before the Vita came out, to kind of just talk to people and whatnot, and then what do you know? Here we are.
Indeed.
Well, all right.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Liam.
Will.
Or no, that's Will.
Liam's next.
Liam's next. Yes, I'm reading ahead.
Yes,
I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's my turn anyways, so I'll take Liam's question.
I was thanking the person. Uh-huh. It's my turn to thank them.
Yeah.
It was my question I read, Tyler. Get off my back, okay?
It was Will's question.
Yeah, I know, but I read it, so I get to thank them. Why would you get to thank them? That doesn't make any sense. Go back to reading, Tyler. Go ahead. Go on.
I don't like you right now.
Say the same about you, Tyler.
But I said it first, so it's my insult.
Whatever.
Good one. Alright. Liam. He's one of our other writers, and he writes in, do you think we'll ever see Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation Store as a digital PSP title? Kyle?
I'm gonna say that if it's not already there, it's probably not gonna be there. I don't remember the last time I heard of a game getting a digital title on the PSP after the fact. So I don't see it happening. Like it seems to happen quite a bit with PS1 games. They get added now, but not PSP stuff. So I'm gonna say good luck. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, same thing. The only thing I could think of, and this is just a long shot, is maybe if they made like a rezzed version of it for the Vita or something, or if they made like a second one and we're like, hey, play the original PSP one. It's now in the store, but highly unlikely. Square Enix is in their own world, doing whatever they want. So, yeah, I agree with you, Kyle. I don't see it happening. Dog's barking. Ignore the dog.
Alright.
Thanks, Liam, for the question. Haha, I said it first.
I figured you were gonna. Alright, moving on. This one's a kind of a double question. 2 questions, the same topic. So, first of all, Non-Skippo at NONSCPO on Twitter asks, how badly do you think the discontinuation of PSM, that's PlayStation Mobile, will affect current games in development for Vita? And then he cites Sakai Project, who have a $30,000 goal hit to bring the Grisaya trilogy west to PlayStation Mobile, maybe PlayStation Vita. So that's what he says. And then Carl Rowland also asks, I'd like you to talk a little about the consequences of Sony shutting down PlayStation Mobile, both for developers and consumers. So since you're so well versed in PlayStation Mobile, Tyler, I'll have you go first.
Oh, wow, way to set me up for disaster. Well, I'll start with the first one. Sakai Project, how they're probably going to be affected. I don't really know too much about it, so I'm going to kind of wing it here. But if they're wanting to bring their game to PlayStation Mobile, and now this is happening, they're going to have to rethink their strategy and probably just either move it to iOS or Android, or consider trying to get more funding for it to go to native Vita. But you never know. So, that's really up to what their strategy is, and if they see this as a loss, or if they're just going to try to find some way to get it out on some platform. And then PSM, oh gosh. Sorry, I'm reading and getting lost right now. So current games in development for the Vita, or do you think he's asking for PSM in general?
Well, PSM is kind of only Vita now, right? Because they shut down the Android part of it, and no more stuff was being made for that. So it's still only a Vita, thing. So I guess they're talking about games that are in development for mobile and stuff that might be in the future. I don't know. I'm not really sure 100% what he's asking, but it seems something like that.
Huh. Well, if they're making it straight for the Vita, I don't think it's going to really affect it. But I know there's a few games that became Vita native games that were PlayStation Mobile games. So, hopefully some of the devs that were put, like you were saying, not on the podcast, but I think you were talking in the chat about how you'd love to see Haunt the House become a Vita native title, right?
Yes, sir. I love that game.
Yeah. So, there's a few games out there that would really be awesome to be brought to full native, but their only form of getting them would be through PSM. Other than, they might have a be on like iOS and Android, but if you're wanting to play it on your Vita, PSM's the way to go. So yeah, I don't know. It's really frustrating because developers are putting, a lot of time into this, and there's games that we don't even know about that are being worked on right now, and then seeing this, it's like, wow. Thanks, Sony, for doing that. And then this Carl asks the consequences of shutting down for developers and consumers. Yeah, I kind of just said that, developers are putting their money into this, and suddenly, bam. Guess what? No more. And for consumers, some of the games are going to be available on other platforms, but there's quite a few of them out there that are only available on PSM, and that just means people aren't going to get to play these awesome games that were brought to PSM, and there's a lot of games that you'd never see be native Vita games that are only available on PSM that you're no longer going to be able to get now. So, it's a lose-lose for developers and consumers, really. So yeah. How did I do, Kyle?
I don't know. I don't think you did too bad, Tyler.
Take it away, Kyle.
Alright, so how badly do you think the discontinuation of PSM will affect current games in development for Vita and the setting of the Sakai project, who have a $30,000 goal hit? I believe, no, I'm not 100% sure here because some of this is off memory. I was gathering these kind of last minute. But I believe Sakai Project and the Grisaia trilogy was the one where they said, we want to bring it to Vita, but if we can't, then we're going to bring it to mobile, and they haven't got, clearance for the titles to hit Vita, but they can get them on mobile, and they know that. So I think that was their issue. So, for them, just push to get your stuff on Vita, and if you have to, inject more money into it, then they'll probably end up starting another Kickstarter or something to fund that extra bit. Or some sort of donation thing. I assume that they would get it because Sakai Project is pretty badass with this kind of stuff. So for them it might not be too big of a deal, but other things in development that are going to PlayStation Mobile, obviously this is going to be a hit to the face, because if you didn't know this was coming or whatever, I'm not sure what the PlayStation Mobile developers know that we don't know. I'm not sure, but if you've been developing a game for a while and you're like, oh, I'm going to put it out on PlayStation Mobile, and now they tell you shit shutting down, you're probably going to be like, oh, it's going to be like a huge hit, right? And anyone who just put out games, there you go too. That's kind of a shit show for them. So it's obviously not going to be good. And then going on with what Carl said, talking about the consequences of them shutting down for developers and consumers. Well, I believe after the final signature writing shutdown, anything that's not on your memory card that's PlayStation Mobile title will not work. So people could not know, and then they lose all this shit, and so I assume the consequences for consumers are going to be pretty disastrous, because not a lot of people keep up with this kind of thing. Shit's going to go downhill with that. I don't know. It's not going to be good. And as for developers, it was a way in for a lot of people. There was a lot of games that were made first for PlayStation Mobile, then kind of deluxe versioned as a native title. I think Aqua Kitty, Retro City Rampage, there's a lot of games that originated on PlayStation Mobile, and without them we might not have these awesome games. So it kind of limits the options for a jump off point for a developer, and where PS Mobile was kind of a place where people could test out their skills kind of thing, now it's gone, and you're gonna have to pay money, because I think all the development tools for Vita, I believe, other than PlayStation Mobile, are not free. So we'll see with that. So could be a potential shit show, and definitely not good for anybody who doesn't know. So if anyone's listening and you value your PlayStation Mobile titles, keep them on your memory card, or put them back on your memory card until that last signature update, just in case they push something that disables the rest of them.
Yeah, this is unfortunate.
Indeed.
What you gonna do? They kind of just don't support their stuff. They release it and then they're like, it'll do all right? But yeah. I just saw a developer that does PlayStation Mobile tweet. He's just like, fuck you. in big capital letters right after that was announced.
Oh man, that sucks. That would be horrible, man. They really should, you know, do something for these people. Give them a free something to help them get their games on Vita, or you know, help them out somehow. Make a package games for Vita. You know, awesome PS Mobile titles that never made it there or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's just a blow to the face for them.
I don't understand why they do this. Like, is it really costing them that much money to keep it running?
I don't know. Maybe it is. You don't know. You don't know, Tyler. You don't know.
I don't. Apparently,
maybe they're just, the timing is bad with this whole thing, and they're releasing that, and then, you know, a week from now they're gonna come out and say, oh, but the developer tools we have for Vita are now cheaper or something. Because at least, you know, throw them a bone. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Hopefully something happens, because this is just, it's a sour experience. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for the question, guys. Let's jump to the next one. Unless you wanted to add anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Alright, AM Gamer at Alberto Marcelo, ALBERTO MARCILLO on Twitter asks, with Tokuden Kiwami coming to PlayStation 4 and Vita, I would like to hear your thoughts about it. I'm going to get it on the PlayStation 4 because of the party chat, and I think more people will be on. I have the OG on Vita. Maybe you guys can change my mind. Change his mind, Kyle.
Alright, well, I haven't been paying super close attention to Kiwami because, as I said, I'm kind of on the fence about it. So don't, you know, slap me in the face if this is wrong, but I remember hearing something about the PlayStation. Oh no, that wasn't. Yeah, that's not this game. Okay, never mind. Anyway, so, well, even though it's not this game, it kind of relates to this. God Eater 2 Rage Burst came out on PlayStation 4 and Vita in Japan, and the PS4 version sold like 1/10 or whatever of what the Vita version sold. So as far as thinking that there's going to be a ton more people on the PlayStation 4 version than there is on the Vita version, I highly doubt it. Even though this is the West, I think that most of the people who even know what Toukiden is are going to be on Vita, and those are the people who are going to be the main people who are going to be buying Toukiden. So I'm definitely thinking that, you know, getting it on Vita might be a better bet for more people being on. As of the party chat thing, yeah, you can talk to more people on PS4, but Vita has party chat too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure why you would want it, other than maybe that the PS4 version would have superior graphics. But, like, I mean, I'm in it for the gameplay, and, you know, Toukiden looked pretty good on the Vita, so I don't know. That wouldn't sway me.
Yeah.
What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, I don't get the PS4 party chat thing, because, I mean, you can even talk to people on the PS4 on the Vita, so there's that. And if you have it on your Vita, the original, you can transfer your data to the new one, so you wouldn't have to play through all the beginning stuff again. You would be basically up to date from the original, and then continue on into the Kiwami stuff. So, I mean, if you're okay with jumping back from the beginning and working your way all the way back up, then go for it. Like Kyle said, you know, the graphics are definitely obviously going to be better on the PS4, but gameplay rules. So, I mean, yeah. But
yeah, I'm not sure about that save bit, because I know God Eater 2 Rage Burst, again, you know, different company and all, but they had a way so you could get your save from the Vita version to the PS4 version using just the demo. So I know they're getting a demo for Toukiden Kiwami. Maybe they're working that out somehow. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, as of now, I'm not sure of anything, you know, getting your save data there. So you'd have to play all that extra stuff again. If you didn't want to do that, it might be a pain in the ass.
Guaranteed it will work for Vita to Vita.
True.
From Toukiden Kiwami, Vita. Anyways, and then more people on the PS4. I still think I might disagree a little bit with Kyle. I think the PS4 version will still do a little better than the Vita version just because of sales numbers. And I don't think there's really that much that's been coming out for the PS4 that people have been really too excited about. Like, The Order just came out, and it was getting mixed reviews, and I feel like a lot of PS4 owners are going to be looking for something, and they're going to see this random game and look it up and be like, huh, I can fight giant monsters. Sold. So, I still think it's going to do a little better than the Vita, but you never know. You never know. So yeah. Thanks, Alberto, for the question. Hopefully that helps you with your decision. Obviously, if you're really into Tokudan, you probably won't go wrong with either version, so let us know what you chose.
Indeed, indeed. Moving on, our next question is from SimplyDan22 at SimplyDan22 on Twitter. Very simple. Any idea whatever happened to Guns Up was supposed to be a Q4 2014 release? So tell us all you know, Tyler.
I know as much as Simply Dan knows. I have no idea.
Yeah, sorry, Simply Dan, but I'm in the exact same position. I have no idea. Last I heard was Q4. I believe I even may have emailed these people around the end of Q4 because I was like, okay, what the hell? All these games aren't releasing. We had a huge list, and I think they were one of the ones that didn't get back to me on the release date. So I imagine that it's still hush hush, or they aren't at the point where they can tell us yet. So just kind of have to wait. Sorry.
You could try. Yeah, you could try tweeting them. Maybe they'll answer you.
Yeah, it happens all the time. People go, "Hey, blah blah blah," and they finally come up with it. So you never know.
Well, all right.
Thanks, Simply Dan. Yeah, that's right, Tyler. I jumped in there.
You did, you bastard.
Mwah.
Well, let's head on to the next question. The Cycling Wolf at The Cycling Wolf says, do you think that Sony is just crazy enough to release a new Vita, say summer 2016?
I don't know. If they hire me, I'd be crazy enough to do that, but I'd be also crazy enough to market the goddamn thing.
Yeah, use all that PS4 money to push the Vita. Huh, that'd be smart.
That's right.
Weird. Yeah, in all honesty, though, now is he saying, like, do you think a new Vita, like a Vita 2, or do you think like a super slim Vita, like another?
I'm thinking they're talking about a super slim, or like a OLED slim, or something like that,
or like an HDMI port Vita or something, just like a new edition.
Yeah,
okay,
a new edition.
Maybe. It's doing pretty well in Japan lately, so you never know. Japan could do it, and then they'd be like, well, we have to release it in the United States now, right? So.
Yeah, like they released that 64 gigabyte card, Tyler?
Yeah, well, that's because everyone's just buying it imported. They're like, yeah, we're still selling it imported, so why do we need to bring it out there? Because we don't like to.
For all the lazy people that can't be bothered to import.
Yeah, I really don't understand that. But I feel like ignoring a whole system would be ridiculous. Stop trying to throw wrenches in my logic, Kyle.
Here comes more wrenches, Tyler.
All right. Thanks for the questions, Cycling Wolf. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe. It might be.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have a question from King Supersmith at Supersmith2500, who asks, how do you feel about SCE not supporting Vita very well in the US and EU? That's my question for the podcast.
Well, if you've listened to this podcast in the past, we've talked about this quite a lot. It's just... it's frustrating because, like we were kind of mentioning a little bit ago, marketing can go a long way, and they don't do it. So it's very frustrating because there's lots of awesome games out there, and there's a lot of awesome developers bringing great games to the system. And I mean, if you just go to a couple of our recent reviews, they're hitting 4+. And they just don't care to talk about it. It's all about that PS4. As great as the PS4 is, the Vita is just as great, and they just don't want to push it.
Yeah. So yeah, Tyler pretty much covered it. So we're if you've ever heard the podcast, you would know we're not too happy with what Sony's doing, but you know all they can do is hire us and do better.
Isn't there a thread on the forum that you were saying if I was in control of
Yes,
Sony?
there is. There's a thread, and it's called I believe it's called "If I Owned PlayStation" or something like that. And yeah, I pretty much go into a whole bunch of things that I would do to fix, well, some common things that people like to bitch about and that I like to bitch about because like they're handled poorly and
Yeah.
they can be fixed really easily or with a couple of people working on it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm flabbergasted that some of the things that they don't fix, and I go into detail on that quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, there you go, King Supersmith. Listen to some of our older episodes and you'll get a lot of what we think about that.
Shit tons of it.
Yes. Toilet fools. Alright. Next question. Lucinio? I don't know how to say that name. At Lightning Luciano, Lightning Luciano asks, what's the Vita game you can't get rid of your Vita no matter how hard you try, digital or physical? So what I'm thinking he's asking is, what game can you you'll never get rid of it. Even if you have no room and you love every game, but you gotta make room, you're not gonna get rid of this game.
Tyler, answer for me.
Answer for you. Okay, it is Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah, there you go.
Bam. Alright, answer for me.
Minecraft.
I could upload my saves and get rid of it, but I don't think I ever would. But I don't know. I really don't have a game that I like. It's one of those things where that scenario would never happen because I have a 64 gigabyte memory card, so I could easily get rid of certain things to make room for something else while keeping a ton of games I really love. But okay. Actually, it might be a really stupid game that I just don't want to get rid of because it's kind of one of those things that I love to jump back into every once in a while, but it's not the best game, and that's Madden. Because I was looking at the prices, and now it's pretty expensive to pick it up again, and I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous. I gotta hang on to this thing. And, I've never thought of selling it anyways, but me and you were recently looking it up, and I was like, why is it so expensive? But apparently it's just rare, I guess. I don't know. So...
So guess who's never getting Madden? This guy.
Yeah. Maybe I'll buy my friend's copy because he bought it and he doesn't even play it. So
just beat him over the head and take it, Tyler.
Maybe. I'll be like, hey, can I borrow this? And he'll be like, you already have it. I'll be like, just, can I borrow it?
Look, I'm borrowing
like,
and then just
whatever.
take it.
Yep. And then one day you'll have a package from Tyler and you're like, ooh, hello.
Either that or I'll find it somewhere for like $5, somebody who doesn't know what they have.
Yeah. You could always look up eBay. I'm sure someone's selling it somewhere cheap. Because I was just looking on Amazon. So. Alright. That's all our news. Or not news. That's all our listener mail.
That is all our listener mail, Tyler.
So let's head on to check this out. And it's you this week, Kyle. So what are we going to check out?
Alright, so for my check this out this week, I've actually picked something I may have mentioned before, and we've definitely mentioned when we were talking about the actual game, when we were playing it, when Tyler was reviewing it and I was playing it with him, and that's Monster Mon Piece, which has now been price changed from $29.99 to $19.99, and that is the new price. So you don't have to hurry, but it's a really cool card game. Might be a little racy for some, so if you're not into overly sexual stuff, you might want to avoid it. But other than that, it's a pretty good card game that most of the people that I've talked into playing it ended up enjoying. Other than that, though, I just wanted to mention that all of the new games this week in North America are on sale. 3 of them on sale on Plus, and 1 of them just randomly on sale. So if you want to get any of those new games that released in North America, now is a good time.
Yes, go check out Monster Mon Piece and all those new games, because there's so many. So yeah, let's head on to the threads for this weekend. We don't have any, so maybe people should send in their threads that they enjoyed.
Indeed. I know there's probably some new game threads about, games that have come out that have gone up. So if you're interested in any of the new releases, there's probably a thread or an official thread talking about it. I know I made one for Ollie Ollie 2, so if you want to talk about that, go talk about it on the forum.
Aw, yeah. Well, let's get out of here. This was a long podcast. I'm tired.
Yeah, a bit.
So you can find all the stories that we talked about on the VitaLounge.net. We're all on Twitter at the Vita Lounge. I'm at Mr. PSVita Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics. We're on Facebook. Just search the Vita Lounge. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/loungeplay. We post up lounge plays, what's coming out for the month. Also, the podcast goes up there. That's your method of listening to us. Also, the magazine, patreon.com/the Vita Lounge, where you can donate and basically back our magazine that we're pushing out. We're doing an electronic magazine that showcases each quarter for the Vita, and there's also a limited edition physical version of the magazine. We have 50 copies available. I don't know how much have been taken now, but you might want to jump in there and secure your physical edition if you're worried.
Quite a few are gone, so enter now.
Yes. And there's different tiers of how much you want to donate or back or whatever you would consider it. And you only get charged per magazine, so it's not monthly. And each magazine, like I said, is for the quarter. So quarter one would be January through March, so you'd be charged in April. So just keep that in mind. Also, the forum, we've talked about it just a second ago, the VitaLounge.net/forum. Sign up, introduce yourself, join the conversation, and look for some awesome threads and email them to us. We're on iTunes. Go ahead and subscribe to us on there. Rate us. Let us know how we're doing. And that is the podcast. No,
Boom.
it's the Vita Cast. We're out.
Later, Gators.